Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to take a look at Dr. Ernst Roets' recent interview with Tucker Carlson, which has been trending in both USA and South Africa. In the interview, there is a claim that treason charges were filed against Ernst Roets for speaking to Tucker Carlson. We will examine this claim as well. So, let's break it all down. Dr. Ernst Roets is one of the key members of the Solidarity Movement South Africa, an organization known for advocating for Afrikaner rights and self-determination. Roets has generated a lot of controversy back home in South Africa after his recent interview on Tucker Carlson's podcast. In the interview, Roets presented himself as a protagonist of Afrikaner self-determination. But before we delve deeper into his remarks and the reaction, let's first understand the historical context. For the uninitiated, the Afrikaners, also known as Boers, are an ethnic group in South Africa descended from predominantly Dutch settlers who arrived at the Cape of Good Hope in the 1600s. Over time, they developed a distinct cultural identity, including the Afrikaans language. Afrikaners played a significant role in South African history, including the establishment of the apartheid system in 1948. This led to a long period of racial segregation and discrimination that ended in 1994 with South Africa's transition to democracy. This history has led to a deeply complex relationship between Afrikaners and the local African communities. The conflict between Afrikaners and local tribes like the Xhosa and Zulu goes back hundreds of years. To this day, this history remains deeply embedded in South Africa's social and political fabric. Many local African communities see Afrikaners as outsiders who forcefully took their land and oppressed them during the apartheid regime. On the other hand, Afrikaners who have been living in South Africa for close to 400 years argue that they should no longer be considered outsiders. Now, coming back to Ernst Roets' interview with Tucker Carlson, Roets made a claim that treason charges had been filed against him and his former organization for bringing disrepute to South Africa. However, he also admitted that he does not expect much to come out of these charges. From a legal standpoint, the term treason is quite severe, and the idea that Roets could face such a charge simply for an interview raises eyebrows. But let's take a step back and analyze South Africa's democratic evolution to understand this better. South Africa is just a 30-year-old democracy. Like any young democracy, it is still working through its issues and evolving into a stronger and more powerful nation. All new democracies face problems, and South Africa is no different. But we must recognize that South Africa has done remarkably well in maintaining its democratic credentials. As development reaches even the most underprivileged communities, South Africa will likely emerge as a more powerful democracy. Let's put things into perspective. The United States fought its Civil War nearly 100 years after its independence. Even today, the fault lines of the war remain visible in American society. And let's not forget that the black community and women in US lacked many rights until the 1950s. So, if the oldest democracy has yet to resolve all its issues, after 250 years of independence? Can we expect perfection from a 30-year-old democracy? This brings us to a critical question. Why did Ernst Roets appear on Tucker Carlson's podcast? Many observers believe that this interview was an attempt to rally international support and funding for the Afrikaner cause, and it appears they may have been successful in their objective. The Afrikaner cause has historically received support from various international groups sympathetic to their claims. So was Dr. Ernst Roets actually charged with treason for speaking to Tucker Carlson? While treason is an extreme charge, it seems more like political posturing than a serious legal pursuit. South Africa's democracy is still young, and like all democracies, it will take time to resolve its historical and social challenges. No country is perfect, and progress takes time. But what do you think? Was this interview a legitimate expression of concern, or was it a strategic move to gain international support? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this discussion insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into global affairs. See you in the next video.